About this stuff. It was totally new to me.
Ahmed with Social Impact Consulting. Hello everyone, my name is Efwa Elens Ede with Social Impact Consulting. I'm a development consultant with 20 years of experience working with NGOs, international NGOs, and bilateral agencies to work in project support, monitoring and evaluation, and civil society strengthening. So now, I saw that local NGOs lack the capacity to manage large-scale projects, which can in turn impact their various communities because they have the connection based on their backgrounds. So this made me create this channel so that I can add value to you for free once you subscribe to this channel and get notified of upcoming videos. I look forward to hearing from you. Hello out there, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Development Sector Series, which is Devsectorseries. Please do remember to like, follow, and subscribe to our social media platforms for you to get prompt reminders each time we're live in our interactive sessions. I encourage you to join our mailing list in the link showing in this broadcast. Take me off your spam and promotions folder so that you can be notified of your updates. Please, again, follow and connect with me on all my social media handles for future updates. So if you have any questions about the discussions on this program, please drop a message in the comment section so that we can engage in an interactive discussion. Today, we're going to be having a conversation about the successes and challenges and the journey of an international development consultant. Our guest today, Mr. Aliyu Aminu Ahmed, is an international development consultant specializing in monitoring, evaluation, and data science for over 2 decades. Today, we'll be discussing the career of international development consultancies, the experiences, the challenges, and the successes. So what I'm going to do first of all is share his video profile. Just give me a second. Mr. Aliyu Aminu Ahmed is a social scientist, a statistician with strong project management skills, and possesses tools necessary to uphold advocacy, monitoring and evaluation ethics and guidelines with over 20 years of experience. He has recognized skills in analysis, synthesizing data, and writing credible reports and feasible recommendations. He has led numerous project baseline, midline, and endline evaluations. Mr. Aliyu's NGO advocacy and M&E career spans various sectors, including health, education programs, solar renewable energy, gender, youth, human rights, democracy and governance, and public financial management reforms. Having worked with several key projects across the entire Nigeria and a few West African countries. He was the pioneer national president of the Nigerian Association of Evaluations, NAE, and currently the convener of Data Science Monitoring and Evaluation Association, as well as an active member of several other professional organizations, including the American Evaluation Association, the European Evaluation Society, the Social Value International, and the United Kingdom Evaluation Society. He is an active member and co-chair of Last Mile Advocacy Stream of Reproductive Health Supplies Coalition. Mr. Aliyu has gained progressive experience through positions and consultancies with entities and programs of various donors, including the USAID, the World Bank, UNDP, DFID, EU, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and several others. Mr. Aliyu holds a Bachelor's of Tech in Statistics from the Federal University of Technology, Yola, Nigeria, and an MSc Project Management from Salford University in the UK, and most recently, a postgraduate program in Data Science and Business Analytics from the University of Texas, McComb. Allow me to introduce to some and present to others Mr. Aliyu Aminu Ahmed.
Okay, also. Hello, Mr. Aliyu. How are you this afternoon?
Hello, how are you? Can you hear me from there?
I can hear you, but I'm hearing a bit of draft in the background. Okay. Are you there?
Okay, what can I do?
Okay, it's better now.
I can hear you clearly here.
Okay, it's better now. Okay. Well, thank you so much for taking time to discuss this very hot topic with each and every one of us. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Efa. I really appreciate your inviting me to your program. And I think I must first of all commend you for the effort you are doing because it's totally free and for the good of the country. I really see what you are doing and I think it's laudable.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we're just going to get right to it. So my first question to you is, what made you choose M&E and data science as a career? Because you've been in this for a while.
Well, I've seen your short clip about me and I did not recognize myself. Honestly. Basically, I've been an activist, what they call active citizen, since maybe in the 90s. So I've been implementing projects. I started getting my first grant from DFID in 1998, capacity building for decentralized development. So that's how I grew. I've never worked for government, so I basically have been in the cycle. So during the implementation of projects, there was a time, fast forward in the 2000 period, I was in a program as an officer, a legislative officer, and then there was a gap for M&E. And then the chief of party said I should fill in that gap. I said, I don't know M&E. He said, but your work is very good and it's exactly what we are looking for. So I said, okay, fine, I can try. That's how I started my career in monitoring evaluation. And since then, I realized that M&E is the best thing that a development person can do. Because when you look at a program, you look at it maybe in three directions. You look at the programming aspect, you look at the financial aspect, but the M&E is in between, looking at both and then trying to measure performance and results. So I was so excited when I started it. I realized that it's the best fit for me as a statistician as well as someone that is interested in seeing results. So that's how I started M&E. And for data science, having been doing M&E for over a decade, I keep coming across a lot of demand for analysis of a lot of data, big data here and there. And I realized that I have to maybe get more skills in the area of data, basically analytics and so on. Then there was people were talking about data science and I wanted to know more about it. And I got interested and started pursuing postgraduate there and so on. So that's how I got into data science. But there I see there's a fit between the two. M&E needs data to perform, and the questions M&E asks basically can be addressed by data. Although when you look at development, international development, you realize that the questions, especially from the private sector, they ask, they don't even ask questions. Here is the data. Tell me what the data is saying. So M&E theories are not necessarily fitting into that. So data science will help you get answers from the data that you are seeing. So these are the reasons why I published it. But
Interesting.
the two are very broad. So even in the M&E, I'm a specialist in evaluation. And even in the evaluation, I'm more inclined to qualitative evaluation. So it's a very broad area and exciting field.
Interesting. So now that you went into data science and monitoring and evaluation, we saw how you transitioned into international development consultancy. Can you just kind of give us a more specific sense of your journey, how you got into the consultancy bit of things?
Well, you see, when you are working in NGOs, I've worked with several NGOs, international NGOs, local NGOs, and so on. Established my NGO with so many things. So as you are doing it, you realize that you really don't want to be doing basic things all the time, like uh, 8 to 5 kind of work. So you go to office, all these basic rudimentary things. You will not. It's not so exciting. So you need more challenge. So and challenge comes when you are doing international development work because it is something that is of high standard and highly competitive. So you are dealing with people that are experts in their field. Some people come in with maybe 30 years, 40 years experience in that particular field, and you come in as an evaluation expert. You have to understand the field, do the evaluation, and so on. So I now became more interested. They pay better anyway. Sometimes that may be another catch. You work for a short time, you get paid better, and then you. At first, I thought you will rest and then recoup again, go back for the next assignment. But it's not like that. When you start doing it, it's no longer a short term because as you are doing this, another one will come up. You have to quickly find a way of finishing this before you get another one. So it's always exciting and challenging. And so you have to manage your family life and work life and so on. But it's a very exciting area and it's rewarding in terms of satisfaction because of the passion you have for the work. Yeah, but not necessarily um, the way people look at it financially, because you are they are buying value and then they are buying also your time. So trying to balance your time and the value you're offering, basically, when you add plus or minus, is just like somebody doing full-time work. But the only thing is the flexibility, you controlling your time, you being your own boss to some is making it more exciting because you have control of your time. You decide. This is what is the most exciting part of it. There are a lot of opportunities, but there are equally a lot of challenges.
Interesting you say that. So I'm just going to let people know, if you have any
Since we are
questions
having
for Mr.
internet
Aliyu.
connectivity problem.
Yes,
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you. And the audience,
Okay,
if you
okay.
can hear Mr. Aliyu, please say that you can hear him from the audience. And if you all have any questions, you are free to ask and put it in the comment section so that we can engage at the end of the session. Okay, so we are going to go into our next question. So, how did you gather the experience in the sector that you needed, such as the technical and programmatic aspect of your role as an international development consultant specializing in M&E data and even on more specific thematic areas even in your field?
So my sector is just like sectors. I'm not inclined to a particular sector. Reason is that you need to have broad perspective as an M&E practitioner. You don't have to limit yourself. For example, public health experts will say they are into health sector and so on. Agricultural experts are there. People in climate change, people in all those sectors, poverty and so on. No, as an M&E person, you have your tools, and then you have theories behind the things you do. So your work will cut across multiple sectors, but you may say you are interested or more inclined or more specialized in, let's say, public finance reforms, or you are more inclined to SMEs and so on. But you don't have to limit yourself to a particular sector, because you are a consultant. Opportunities come for you to use your tools. So I don't encourage people to say, I am fixated on a particular, I'm a health sector M&E expert. No. If you look at it, it is not necessarily a good approach. The best approach is that you have deeper knowledge in M&E, then you have a bit of knowledge in one or two or three broad areas, like let's say poverty, all those things. So then now you become specialized in maybe in the evaluation itself, and then the analysis of data and so on, but not necessarily you box yourself in one sector. If you
Okay.
look at, there is a trend in development practice. Maybe 10 years ago, they were talking about HIV. Today, they're talking about COVID-19. And then next, they're talking about maybe migration issues and so on. So you don't have to box yourself in one area. That's my own approach anyway.
Okay. So aside from, I know your specialty is in M&E, so those who are working in other areas of their technical expertise, whether it be communications, whether it be grant writing, whether it be program management, project management. So in folks with those different types of specialties, how do you gather that experience so that you can present yourself as an effective and a professional international development consultant, as you have done in your chosen
Okay.
technical
You
expertise?
see, for example, you mentioned project management. If you are an expert in project management, how do you position yourself in that? Uh, Project management also, you have the ability to view things from different perspectives. So just try to be going deeper into the project management itself, but not necessarily limiting yourself to sectoral. I know people are saying specialization. You have to be a specialist so that you can have competitive or comparative advantage and so on. But it's not true. Uh, you have to be a specialist in your own field, like project management, M&A. But you don't have to be specialist in, let's say, one area. You understand? So you need to know how to use the tools, and then also you don't you don't go for every project that comes your way. You have to cherry pick. For example, if you really want to be getting jobs from USAID, for example, then try to go mainly for USAID jobs. So you have more advantage than someone who is specialized in EU programs and so on. So in that way, as a consultant, it's easier for international development companies to see that you have experience of this particular development partner. So they will hire you, and then also you have a progressive um, rates that you are using for them. So the negotiation will be easy. So if you are maybe your rate is maybe $500 a day or $300 a day, whatever. So when they come to discuss with you, then they will just give you that or give you a little bit higher, maybe 10% or whatever you negotiate. So it's easier for you to excel in that area. So, but tying yourself that I'm going to be USAID program consultant, and I will only work in health sector. This is limiting yourself. You get the logic. As an expert, you have to also get jobs for yourself. So you don't just have to box yourself. And to the extent some people I see, they will just say they are only trainers. How many jobs you get in training?
I
You
see.
understand? So why should you limit yourself to only training? So you need to be broad a little bit, not too much, but at least have some few uh, like opening for other opportunities. Don't limit yourself. So as you can see in
Sure.
my CV, I work in like 3, 4 sectors already.
I see. Okay, so that's a really interesting way to put it. Not to box yourself in, but to still just go deeper in your chosen area of expertise.
In the
Your
tools you
technical,
use,
your technical
but not
expertise.
the sector.
Okay, so we're gonna go to the next question. So you you alluded to some of this already in the previous question. So it's saying what technical specialties
Mm,
are in international
I
development
see. Is it
consulting,
what
which
technical
are more
specialties are in
yeah.
international
I
development?
think I think there is some noise in the background um, where you are. I
Sorry
don't know
about
whether
that.
uh,
I am in another client's office.
okay,
So yeah,
okay, okay.
so no, it's a government ministry. There's a World
I
Bank
see.
project I am still in with. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll just work with that. So what technical
Mm.
specialties are in international development consultancy and which are more profitable?
Um, if I would advise in terms of specialties in international development, um, which one is more profitable? It depends. Whatever you want to do, when you are good at it, is profitable. Consistency, specialization in terms of knowing the tools, the right tools to use, and so on, and just patience. Work in the fields that you are interested in. So definitely, all fields are profitable, but some are more exciting than others. For example, uh, people that are working in financial management, grants management, they are limited to only managing projects, so very minimal consulting opportunities. So those that are in monitoring and evaluation have a higher advantage of being called for consultancy, because projects that are being designed at the baseline, they will call M&E. Maybe middle of the way, they will still call M&E. When things are not really functioning well, they will still call M&E. When they are closing out, they will still call it M&E. And then after they close, they want to land, they still call it M&E. So, and then when they call you, they are not calling you as full-time staff. So they call you as a consultant to advise them. So there is M&E is more lucrative. Data science is also very exciting area, but highly technical. You need to find a niche within it. What exactly are you interested in? If it's machine learning, it's another issue. If it is visualization, if it is so many areas that you are interested in data science, then you pick up that area and have a niche and let people know this is what you are offering, this is what you are doing. And then anytime they come, you are prepared. You learn. You should know more than an average person in any of your choosing fields, and you see there will be profits.
I
But
see.
the profit, I think, also is not the money. Money is not always the ultimate profit. You understand? Opportunity to network with people, opportunity to meet people, opportunity to make your life what what living. I mean, you are doing things that you know is impacting on the lives of others. You also you wake up every morning, you know what you want to do, and so on. These are all profits that we don't really see tangibly, but financially also it will pay your bills, right? And make a little saving for your retirement. And don't forget, actually, when you are doing consulting, you never retire. You understand? You continue working until maybe 8 years or more. So it's a very good thing. While the others, your friends are retiring, your life is beginning. And then, unfortunately for them, when they retire, they want to come and join you. But already you have already known you have become street smart. You know how to get your deals and so on. Maybe you can employ them. Yeah.
Exactly. That is, thank you for that insight. That must have really helped the audience, and very much so, in terms of working on M&E and even being
So,
better than the average
if you
person.
want to make in this business, I think you need to have your own consulting firm. That is when you can really make money, because at that point you are managing orders, you are deciding the profits you want to make. So, but if it is as an individual consultant, then everything is limited to the value and time you are putting, which is exactly what others regular workers are putting. But if you want to make real money, so then you have to have your own company, your own consulting firm company, and then compete with the rest in the game. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that insight. Thank you so much for that insight on that. Very key. So, like, you already bridged into that, making sure that you have your own business, and your own company. So how does a consultancy firm, or even an individual contractor, how are you able to attract clients?
Well, there are many ways to do that, but don't go and read textbooks about doing it. Uh, no, 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 no. That one is because the person writing the textbook is not in your local environment. You understand? So everything is within a context. So if, for example, you want to do new business, first of all, for me personally, how I get business is that if I get a business, the first business, I do it very well. So I leave a happy client. So sometimes some clients come back to you after 5 years. There is recently someone that I worked with about 8 years or so called me that, please, can you assist with this and that? And it's big money. So that is how it is. Wherever you work, try to leave a good impression, try to do a good job. People that you are working with are looking at you. The organization or the development partner you have worked with are looking at you. So sometimes they call you again, Aliyu, I really enjoyed working with you in the social project. Are you available to take up this position? I said, is it a full-time position? No, 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 I'm not interested. So well, then they still come back and say, okay, can you do evaluation for us? Can you do this thing for us? So you now cherry pick. You don't go for everything you see. You pick the ones that you think are low-hanging fruits for you. They will not stress you a little much, but will challenge you to do something more exciting than previous. So that is how you do new business. You build on the previous clients or your track record, and then uh, whatever you do, the way you communicate with people, the way you write your reports, the timeliness of delivery of your services, and the insights you put in beyond what the ordinary person can put in. So all these things gives you a more better advantage next time. So I normally do not apply randomly for anything. I hardly respond to proposals because already over time I build reputation. among colleagues and so on. So whenever things are complex, they approach me for complex issues. Only when maybe people are discussing and then they see things, this thing is very complicated, they don't know how to approach it. They say, this one can do it. Let's call him. So, but also you have to have ability to charge people. The mistake we do in new business is you try to offer service, but you don't really understand how to charge or get paid for the service. So even though they are regular clients, when you come, you tell them clearly, this is what I will do, this is how much it will cost you. And it will help you a lot because at the end of the day, you also need money to sustain yourself. So you need to have the ability to charge. Then also you need to have ability to look at the scope of work or terms of reference of your engagement. It's very important because some projects they get you in very nice looking terms of reference, but when you come in you realize that you told me to analyze your data, but you have not even organized and clean your data. So organizing, cleaning the data is another job again. So you have to really look at the TOR carefully, and then you need to discuss with the client before you accept what you want to do. And even after accepting, if you realize there's something beneficial to the client, you recommend, and then you tell them that even though this is not what you have engaged me in, but I would recommend you do this because it will contribute to achieving certain results that are good for you. So try to look at the scope of work. And you see, if in new business, two things are important, right? You do a proposal, I hardly do that, but you do a proposal, then you submit the proposal, then go and negotiate, and then they agree, and then you implement and you report. So in doing the proposal, you should understand that the time you are spending in writing the proposal is also another cost to you, right? So you have to have experience in writing good proposals, but proposals that people cannot just copy and paste and give it to other organizations to do for them. So you have to be tactful in writing your proposals. It's also very important.
Wow, this is extremely
Don't
insightful.
don't. Yeah, I think I would advise you not to uh, be exorbitant in your cost, but also don't undervalue yourself. What I mean by not to be exorbitant, somebody will say, last time someone paid me X amount of money for this job. And then I will add something a little bit on top and then charge the next client. So there is a time when you will charge to the extent that you get to a ceiling and you are no longer competitive again. So you have to be careful not to grow too fast in your rates, but not to go too low. So you really, really need to sit down and work with the client. So and then when you charge too low for the previous client, some clients will say, "Bring me your last engagement," and they see the amount is low, and then they say, "This is what we can offer you." It's not so. You understand? So you have to balance high cost and low cost. Just be on the average most of the time.
The
It's
average.
better for you. Yeah.
So how do you find out those average rates so that you don't overprice yourself or underprice yourself? How do you find out those kind
Um,
of rates?
yes, you first of all know that for each of the industries, there are certain rates they put as ceiling. For example, you are working with government. If you are part of a bid for government, you should know the government cannot give you $1,000 a day. Definitely, they can't. They will tell you that their maximum is maybe 50,000 a day. You tell them, okay, no problem. I work for you, but I want a lump sum amount. So let's agree on a lump sum. So your type of agreement matters a lot. So if it is 50,000 a day, no worries. You can take 100 days, but I have the ability to deliver this thing in 20 days. So why should I waste my time 100 days? So give me lump sum amount and then delivery based. So give me so amount and I will deliver it in good time. And they deliver it to satisfaction, they pay you. So that's how you try not to put small amount on your this thing. So then some people will prefer give you high amount but low number of days. Yet the workload will take more than 10 times those days. So you need to educate them also that look, I agree, I will collect these thousands of dollars, but the actual work will not finish until the next 6 months. So if you are okay, let's uh, work out a good daily rates or whatever. Because if you collect it 4 days or 3 days at maybe $5,000 a day, and then you now come back after that one, then next somebody say, "Bring me your last this thing," and you bring $5, they shout because it's not easy like that, right? So try
Yes.
to agree on the lump sum amount for lower rates. Try to negotiate an average rates, but most of the time, development partners have a rate that keep maybe maintain. They maintain. If you are $350, $300, $200, they'll keep maintaining that rate. Maybe increase a little bit. So in that way, you are comfortable like every other person with the flexibility you have in the development. And then you do work in your country, you do work in other countries. So when you travel to do work in other countries, you have to be mindful of exchange rates. You have to be mindful of cost of living there. You have to be mindful of so many things. You factor it in the agreement. Don't just jump in based on the local rates you are paid here, and then you just agree and say that yeah, you can offer me this. But when you go there, you realize that they are spending pounds or they are spending, and then you now begin to wonder whether you are really doing sacrifice or charity work.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. You already alluded to this in your last question, in terms of
Mm,
making sure that you are able to do excellent work and you are able to
mm.
get referrals. Are there any other things you want to cover with regards to the challenges on building your reputation as a consultant?
Yes, the biggest challenge you are having is that you are walking into a place that already they are familiar with their work. That is, they have been working sometimes for over 8 years, 10 years, doing this thing daily, over and over. It's only when they have issues, then they call you. So by the time they call you to address these issues, you realize that you have to quickly understand everything before you even begin to advise them. So I really think that it is a big challenge for especially the kind of work we do uh, to quickly understand the project and then fit in. So what do you do in that situation? Stick to the stick to the project documents, because once you stick to the project documents, it's good for you too, because whatever advice you give, you make reference to the project documents, because even though they have worked for so long, they may not have had opportunity to look at pay more attention to details as you are going to do. And then another advantage in that situation is that you will be able to speak to everybody. So you will know more than each person in that organization. So that is one challenge. The second challenge is scope creeping. Scope creeping is very common. Somebody will call you for engagement, and then probably they do not know how to develop the terms of reference, or they do not even understand what they are supposed to do. And then when you come in, the scope will begin to widen. Or maybe they are excited with what you are doing. They say, can you look at this? Can you look at that? And then before you realize, the scope will continue expanding. So really, it is a big challenge for development work, uh, especially when you come into a project that has issues, and they wanted to solve all their problems within this short time. They will meet some people that are really lagging behind, including the M&E people that are there in the project. So they would like you to do so many things that they ought to have done. So scope usually creep. When you are doing international work, as basic as language is a problem. Sometimes I work in French countries, speaking countries. So to work with people, you have to find a way. But that one, you can solve it by using technology. You can use translate to do communication. You can have an interpreter as a friend in that place and so on.
Okay. Looks like we're having I think Mr. Aliyu is having a few network challenges, so he should be getting on shortly. So we'll just give him a minute. So while we are waiting for the network to get to where it needs to be, please, if you have any questions concerning the conversation that he's having, just make sure you include it in the comment section, so that when it gets towards the end, he can take in any questions that you may have in the audience as well. And for those of us that are going to be watching afterwards, they will also get more insight with your questions. So he should be coming up in a minute. There are a few network issues, so we'll just sort everything out. For those, so what I would do is, while we wait, those of us that just came in for the in the middle of the live broadcast, I will share his video bio, and then during that process he would come back in. So thank you so much. Let me go ahead and do that.
Aliyu Aminu Ahmed is a social scientist, a statistician with strong project management skills, and possesses tools necessary to uphold advocacy, monitoring and evaluation ethics and guidelines with over 20 years of experience. He has recognized skills in analysis, synthesizing data, and writing credible reports and feasible recommendations. He has led numerous project baseline, midline, and endline evaluations. Mr. Aliyu's NGO advocacy and M&E career spans various sectors, including health, education programs, solar renewable energy, gender, youth, human rights, democracy and governance, and public financial management reforms. Having worked with several key projects across the entire Nigeria and a few West African countries. He was the pioneer national president of the Nigerian Association of Evaluations, NAE, and currently the convener of Data Science Monitoring and Evaluation Association, as well as an active member of several other professional organizations, including the American Evaluation Association, the European Evaluation Society, the Social Value International, and the United Kingdom Evaluation Society. He is an active member and co-chair of Last Mile Advocacy Stream of Reproductive Health Supplies Coalition. Mr. Aliyu has gained progressive experience through positions and consultancies with entities and programs of various donors, including the USAID, the World Bank, UNDP, DFID, EU, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and several others. Mr. Aliyu holds a Bachelor's of Tech in Statistics from the Federal University of Technology, Yola, Nigeria, and an MSc Project Management from Salford University in the UK, and most recently, a postgraduate program in Data Science and Business Analytics from the University of Texas, McComb. Allow me to introduce to some and present to others Mr. Aliyu Aminu Ahmed, Principal Partner, the Monitoring and Evaluation Institute, Abuja, Nigeria.
Hello, Mr. Aliyu, are you there? Hello? Hello? Hello, are you there? Okay, he should be coming in shortly. There he is. Hello? It looks like you're, okay. Okay. Can you unmute? Can you unmute? Hello? Okay, there you are. Hello?
Hello?
You can hear me? Yeah, okay, there you are. Okay, we were talking briefly about the challenges in building your reputation, and you spoke a bit. You spoke a bit about that. You talked about scope creeping, and then people wanting you to solve all the problems in the world. So I think that was pretty much where we stopped before the network kind of started giving us issues. Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? Oh my, looks like you can't. Oh. Hello. Please unmute your mic. Just a minute. Okay. Okay, it looks like we're having a few issues here with network. Please be patient with us. Okay, have you unmuted yourself? Okay, there you are. There you are.
This is the third world country, so we are even trying, honestly. Yeah.
So you were
Hello?
you were talking about. Can you hear me? You're talking about.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great, awesome. So you were talking about scope creeping. And how some clients may want you to solve all their problems and trying to navigate through that through communications. Is there anything else you wanted to add with that?
Another challenge, I think you have to always be learning more and more. People will not look at it as challenge ordinarily, but for a consultant, you learn almost every time, and definitely it will affect some other aspect of maybe family life and so on. So you have to interesting way, our own coping strategy. We involve our family members, like our wives, to be also consultants. So they will understand that the job is not easy. You understand? So in the process of even helping her with her own consultancy, you are also, it's just like a family thing. So she will not realize you are away. So she will be working on her own maybe software, whatever she's doing, and then you are coding on this side, you are doing this, and then you are together. So that is a way to really get out of it. I think the biggest challenge consultants face is managing your finances. You see, it's not every consultant that have back-to-back engagement. Sometimes you get engagement for these 6 months, and then there is a gap of maybe 3 months. How do you do it? You have your bills to pay, school and so on. So as a beginner, it's an issue. But when you are growing in the business, you already have learned how to adjust your life, try to pay yourself maybe for 2 years ahead. So no matter how long the gap, you will not feel it. So what you do as an early, I believe the audience are not my ogas. The audience are people that are maybe of my level. So what you do is that, first of all, What do you really need? You take care of it. When you get a consultancy that pays you, let's say, 1 million or 2, and then you remember that you need a fridge, you get a good one. You remember that you need TV, you get a good one. So those, remember they need to pay school fees, pay ahead, or maybe 6 months ahead. So at least when you settle that, you will not worry about bills. So that is the best way, the coping strategy. Because if you don't do that, you are wasteful. You will negotiate lower rates eventually, and then you will take any form of, because you will not choose. Your ability to choose is determined by the size of the pocket you have. So if you are comfortable, you see a job, you don't like it, you leave it. But if you are not comfortable, you are in need, then any job that comes, you say, hey, let me manage. Some small jobs take more time than even big jobs. So you see, you are losing. So important in consulting business.
Interesting. That is a that's very
I think
insightful.
another challenge you face is that you are dealing with multiple personalities in 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 projects that you support. So you have to have extra patience than compared to an average person. So you have ability to understand how the organization culture is.
Okay, it looks like the network kind of fell out on his end, but you know, with the International Development Consultancy, some of the insights that he's providing are some of the things that a lot of us are facing right now as consultants. There he is. Let me add him onto the stream. He should be coming on shortly. Okay, there you are.
So your ability to understand the organization culture you are working, I mean, not working as in into. As you are walking into that office, you know that they have certain ways they do their things. And you are not there to disrupt. You are there to add value. Number two, the people also, you need to understand the kind of the way their behavior and so on. Easily, you have to communicate very well. So if you come to an organization that maybe the salary of workers is maybe 50,000 per day or 40,000 per day, majority on the average, or 100, and then you are paid 200,000 per day. Of course, they will stress you. They will say, look at how much money he's packing in just a short time. So let him sweat for that money. So you have to understand this challenge ahead of time. When you are coming in, maybe their culture is bureaucratic, or maybe their culture is modern culture of working. Maybe their culture, they have a certain, you will observe with experience, you will know which kind of culture they have in the organization. Then you work with it in such a way that they will not even understand that you are packing that money, or the value you are putting is more than what they are, and so on. And then sometimes when you come in as an expert, people are afraid. He has come to cause wahala. And so, you see, there are organizations that will call consultants just to try to downsize, do this, or you don't know, they are called for so many things. So you really, really need to be careful, because it's a big challenge. Don't do harm. Do no harm. There has to be a way to approach. There are ethics of this profession. When you are writing your report, don't mention names. Don't mention. Stick to the core, the actual documents governing the project, and then you and speak truth to the power. No matter how it is, don't be naive. Don't be, maybe just speak the truth. But the way you speak the truth matters. It's not like you just come to the whole office. This is this. No, no, no. There is a policymaker. There is a system. So you have to understand there is a way. Maybe if it is data science work, there is a data policy, there are certain approvals limits, there are certain authorizations in the data system, all the systems. So you need to follow that protocol. So you have to really be careful not to burn your fingers.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm sure we are all such great details from you at this point, including myself. This is really great information. So we're almost concluding. So let me ask you this. So who do you recommend should pursue consultancy in the development sector?
Someone that has passion for development. Uh, if you have passion, if you have patience, and then you want challenge, because if you are the kind of person that don't like stress, want to relax, want to do regular things, like people in the bank, they come, cash, go, these rudimentary basic things, you shouldn't go for consultancy, because in consultancy you are expected to be better than the person that's asking you, or at least have the ability to help the person look at things in different perspectives. So you have to know a lot about what you are consulting on. So you don't have to say that, even though I told you earlier that you should not box yourself into one sector, but you should not also be too you are into so many sectors that you don't understand the core, the theories surrounding those sectors. So you really have to know a lot. So if you are not ready to challenge yourself, if you are not ready to work overtime, because people think you can control your time, you are free. No, controlling your time doesn't mean that you are working less. In fact, you work more. In fact, you can come to the place of consultancy, you go back home and start afresh until maybe 3 a.m. And then you wake up again tomorrow, there's a presentation to do. So don't think it is an easy business. Then also, people that are frugal, you have to know how to manage finances beyond an average person. Because if you are doing consultancy, there is always a gap. So you don't expect regular income that you can do. Maybe you are getting a few thousands every month regularly. You can plan. No, you have to have a very good understanding of consultancy before you go into it. And then you are competing with very um, eggheads. I mean, people that know their in Nigeria know their own news. So you have to be sure that somebody will retire in a particular field and come back and start consulting. He spent 35 years or whatever and still come and do consulting. And then you are coming in. So you have to know that field very well to be able to add value. And then it's not a lazy person's uh, job. Honestly, it's a very tedious work, and but be easy on yourself. Even if opportunities are coming, sometimes when opportunities come in consulting, they come 3 times at the same time. You understand? So don't catch this, catch that, and then at the end of the day, you are unable to deliver optimally. So my game for that is that some opportunities will come and also tie you down. You understand? You collect opportunity to do a job for, let's say, the right 6 weeks. And even to start planning that work, it will take 1 month before even calling you. They have not finished. So you have to be very careful. So a consultant, somebody interested in consulting should love the job, should have passion for it, and then be ready to work and add value to everyone around them. And then don't hoard knowledge. Share it to your colleagues, share it to your friends, because whatever you do, you get back in return. And then you have to, someone that is disciplined, respect human rights of people, gender sensitivity, all those issues. You have, because you are operating in an international setting. So you have to know there are certain rules of the game. You have to understand, and then there are a lot of documents you have to sign, confidentiality of the client, records, and so on. You don't carry their data to work XYZ. So you should be prepared. Somebody wants to pursue consultancy should be prepared to work, but it's a very interesting environment. You can take out a holiday for 2 months and not do anything and relax, to
Yeah.
rejuvenate after working out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really an interesting field. So so before I ask the last question, please, if you have any questions in the audience, please make sure you put that down so that Mr. Aliyu can answer your questions. This is a very interesting conversation on international development consulting, because this is the meat of our sector. So any questions, put it in the comments. So Mr. Aliyu, here is the final question. So how do you view the profession in the next 10 years?
I think for Africa specifically, not even Africa, everywhere, consultants are the leaders, kind of. You understand? So consultants, everything now is going to be managed by consultants. Forget about maybe regular civil service, all those things.
Hmm. Okay. Looks like we're having a bit of
So demand
okay.
is going to increase, but there is also increase in technology. So if you don't move with technology, you realize that you will not be competitive. For example, uh, discussing with people, you realize that there are apps now that can, as you are talking, is translating. There are maybe facial recognition apps that will check the mood of people in an FG focus group discussion and so on. So many things are coming up. Big companies need big data to crunch. So demand for consultancy will increase, but the approach will definitely change and be more inclined to technology. Even in agriculture, we have drones, putting pesticides and so on. So when you want to consult in that area, definitely technology is going to take over. That's why the need for us to embrace data science quickly, because as I see it, data science, artificial intelligence, and so on can change the way work is going to be in the next 10 years. And if we are alive, it will be exciting. And probably we'll be traveling outside the world also. People are going to be having accommodation in Mars, so you can take a
Yeah.
break there too. So technology is going to transform things. So likewise, consulting.
Interesting. That is a good way to
So see now,
really
see how we are
go forward.
interacting. It's technology,
Hmm.
right?
Exactly.
Before we
Exactly.
can't do that. You have to come to a meeting, spend money, invite, travel, all the way. So technology has already started influencing the way consultancy is done.
Interesting. Thank you so much for that very exhaustive, substantive conversation about international development consultancy, the experiences, successes, and challenges. So I'm just going to go into the questions that have been put here in the audience. So we have one by Paul um, Paul Agada Ehere. Thank you so much for watching. He says, I have a question, sir. Is the build up to an end of project evaluation, what are the vital things to consider? So in the build up to an end project evaluation, what are the vital things to
Mhm.
consider?
Build up to the end. I think for you within the project, you need to get your data organized, get the records on your indicators right, get the means of verification uh, very clear. For example, if somebody has said how many the program is on capacity building, number of people trained, you need to be able to have the training curriculum, pre and post test, attendance sheet, cross check, make sure that everybody signed those attendance sheets before you document or archive, and then training reports, presentations made at the training. All these are the things that you need to really keep for each of your indicators. So I will advise you to open a file for each of the indicators. Make sure that the indicators have performance indicator, reference sheets that explain the definition of the indicator and then the kind of measurements on that indicator. So with that, you are ready for the evaluator to come, because the evaluator will not necessarily need those data, because evaluation can be done without your data, and we can actually
Okay. Looks like there's an issue with network again. Please bear with us concerning
so
concerning network,
a
but it looks
consultant
like things is
can
coming back on.
actually, depending on the type of evaluation you are doing, if it's the impact evaluation, the consultant will have to now go to the beneficiaries, try to see the changes made at that level. So, but your data will help contribute to his own, because it's a result chain. From the input activities outcome and then the impact that you are having. So it's good to in-house make sure that your data is good. It will help, but it's not like sufficient for the consultant. But that one will really help in demonstrating the results that you are achieving or you have
Okay.
achieved, because evaluation.
Okay.
If it's a
Thank you
midterm
so much for that.
evaluation, that
Mm-hmm.
means that it is something that is going to be basically based on what you are doing, not until you finish. So still, your records data is going to be helpful.
Interesting. Thank you so much. There is one more question. This is by Bukola Ehimatie. On YouTube Live. She
Ah,
says, "Thank you, Efwa." She
how are
says,
you?
"For bringing my mentor, Aliyu. My question is, how do you address the issue of
Okay,
track records or previous experiences as a newly established consulting firm when responding to calls?"
okay. Few things. The CVs of the people you are putting in have certain percentage, maybe about 40% of weight. That is one. Then two, if you don't have any experience at all, then form a consortium to respond to the proposal. So the consortium partners will add also value to the submission in addition to high quality CVs. But even if you are a new organization, make sure that you have all your systems in good place. For if you are bidding for Nigerian government documents, definitely having the procurement documents, tax clearance, NSITF, all those things matters more than even the track record itself. So track record is good, but definitely documentation of your company meeting the procurement requirements. If you are maybe bidding in another country like US, you have to be on. You have to have a DUNS number. You have to have some registration. You have to have NCAGE and so on. So all these requirements are supposed to be ready even before you think about your track record. So track record is important, but not a necessary. Track record can even be a disadvantage because maybe your record have it wasn't a good record at all from the last client. They will call the client, So have your documentation right. Get good CVs, reputable people, experts in each of the sectors you're bidding, and definitely you will have more points than somebody that says I have implemented this and that. But sometimes some clients will say experience working in a particular community
Okay. Okay.
or particular language or so. So make sure you have consultants that speak those languages, and then they have country experience. And it's very easy. Do not restrict yourself working in Nigeria at all. Because majority of consultants in Nigeria are always talking about working in Nigeria. Okay, no, open up, go and work in other countries. You will see a lot for your new company.
Thank you so much for that. So, Mr. Aliyu, what we are going to get from you now as we conclude is your final thoughts.
So welcome to the club. This is development consulting. It's something that is exciting. My final thought is that try to belong to groups or associations of like minds. maintain contact with like minds. Each person has a mentor. You cannot just say that you are not an island. You have to learn from uh, others. So you have to have people that you maybe really appreciate or value or you have worked with in the past, maintain contact, maintain, belong to groups, socialize in terms maybe WhatsApp, maybe meetings, attend maybe conferences or conference online. You never can tell because these are the only ways you get more knowledge because you get knowledge from others. Do not only rely on Googling things. No, find someone to explain the things for you because there are many things that are on the internet without necessarily giving you the background or the theory behind them. So you should know why things are and then which theories are behind those things. If it is theory of change, you know how it works. If it is theory of this, theory of that, you are working in conflict, you don't know theory of conflict, you don't know this, all this. You have to know. So try to maintain relationship and
Thank you. Mhm.
come to FY show.
Yeah.
Because
Thank you
now
so much.
the brand for Nigeria, I think you have created a brand that really development consultants will really should advise them coming here frequently to interact with each other.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Aliyu. I mean, I have admired your work, and even I know we worked together briefly a couple of years ago. I just admired just your
Thank
professionalism and how you just operate. And I just
you.
knew that once we started this platform, that I wanted you to really share of your extensive experience in the sector. So again, everyone, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you, Mr. Aliyu, for coming and really sharing with us insights on international development consulting, because this has added value to us in in the
Thank
space.
you. I hope it does. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Take care.
Have a
Take
good
care,
day.
sir. You
Thank
too.
you.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye bye.
So thank you all so much for coming and attending Dev Sector Series with Mr. Aminu Ahmed, who is a development consultant that specializes in monitoring, evaluation, and data science. Remember to join my mailing list, okay? It's in the link here in the description. Follow each and every one of my social media platforms, like our pages, so that you can be notified when we come live. Our next episode, we are going to be flying to Ghana. So I will keep you informed about our next guest. It's same time, Wednesday at 12 noon. Take care, everyone, and let us change the world together. Take care.